Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, recording more Another Code R in a single session. Oh my goodness, it's a world first for Avalar, a combination power-up. I'm getting my quotes mixed up. This wasn't even meant to be a quote in the first place anyway. Yes, hello. In the last episode, I said I was going to put the kettle on, and I didn't. Well, I did, after I stopped recording that and started recording this, and also, we found out... Well, no. Ashley decided on a whim that she wanted to go into the clock tower, apparently. And we found out that in order to do that, we needed to ask Charlotte Graham about it, even though that's one of the things you do not ask Charlotte Graham about. And she said that we need 3 keys, and 2 of them are in this shed, so she gave us a key so we can get keys so we can key while we key. And that's a lot of clocks. So, someone must be really used to finally caressing clock. I don't know, there's a dick joke in there somewhere, make it yourself. Anyway, we were told that the keys be found in a really awkward place. Well, how about we look at this obvious puzzle machine? Because look, the keys are right there, and they're, like, the heads of the keys are totally not just obscured by a cloth. They're totally not connected to that mechanism. Da-da-da-dum, it's a weight puzzle. I forget how this puzzle works, but, I mean, this is good. It seems like a fun enough puzzle. I don't remember what the trick to it is. I think we need to collect these weights from around the various... Like, I think we need to counterbalance that weight so that... Because, see, these keys are on this square bracket. We need to shift this weight thing so that circle thing... So the hole in this outer ring lines up with the inner ring so that we can take the keys and pull them out. That's the puzzle here. And this weight is nowhere near enough to shift it. Well, I mean, it's enough to shift it a little bit, but it's nowhere near heavy enough. So we need to find some more weights from elsewhere in the room. At least I think that's what we have to do. Oh no, I know what this is! Fuck, because we need to move it only a little bit more, so we'll use the commemorative token. I knew we needed it for something! Oh my god, I can't believe I remembered that. I remembered this puzzle being a little bit tricky. Also, you press that button in the middle. But yes, we'll use 2 things then. This thing in the middle is a button, and you can press it for it to dump out any weights that it's holding. So I think there are other things you can use in this, and apparently we do need a little bit more. So, boop that, and it gives us our shit back. As opposed to shitting on our back. Ew. So, we need to find some other item to weigh it down with, but I can't believe I remembered that! Because... we have that, and we have the other thing. I believe there's another... Oh, well, there we go. First place I look, there's a coin. Like, that's probably easily enough to get something like that. I can't believe that was an exact... Like, that was the first place that I looked, and it was... Like, I just solved this puzzle that quickly. And a nice little bonus thing to note, as well, is that the weight that we had to begin with, okay, yeah, it's made of metal, nothing special there. But then we got a copper coin, kind of thing. And we have this special token. Combine them together, and, okay, separately they look like, okay, copper, metal, cheap, shiny plastic. But combined, you got bronze, silver, and gold, and all together they make up the perfect weight to... Excuse me, can you not put in the token as well, because that would solve the puzzle perfectly? So put the other one in as well! Let me use all the things! Why won't you... Maybe I'm misremembering this puzzle after all, but... Like, can we combine the 2? Because that would seem really counterintuitive to... Oh, yeah, combine coin with token. Cannot be combined. You see, can't you just use both? Maybe I did misremember this after all, and perhaps I did give myself far too much credit for this puzzle. Well, the answer's going to be in here somewhere, I'm sure. Because, I mean, you need weights to make clocks like these function, so... yeah. Plus, I mean, we're going into the clock tower at some point. So, we're probably going to need to get good with clock weight puzzle kind of things, you know? It would seem a bit rude to crowbar your way into a chest like that. Not a chest, a crate, you know. Yes, let's stick the entire bucket into the weight machine. This machine is called the machine machine. Yeah. A small arm moves back and forth. Now that's an esoteric reference. By the way, before I started recording, I finally remembered to turn up the Wii Remote output volume, so if it makes any more noises then it'll be a bit more audible, because for some reason, even when I hold the Wii Remote right up against the microphone, when it makes noises, you can barely hear it. And this bothers me a little bit, because it's right up against the microphone, and... Oh, there we go, we've got case weight things. Now, wait a minute. Well, no, of course not. It looks like one of those sepia-colored maps. Do I have to use the things on that weight in order to add them to the... Okay, I was gonna say, do I have to use the items with this here in order to actually have them available for use in the puzzle proper? Because that seems a bit dumb. Because I seem to recall needing the coin and the souvenir token. This is what you need it for, I swear. Perhaps I'm misremembering, but I'm fairly sure that's what it needs to be. Yes, it is. It's almost perfect, and just let me use the token. That would be enough to see it through. We'll put in the small weight, and it'll go over. See, it's only a little bit too much, though. You see, you probably could jangle it out from there. But no, because it's a video game, it has to be perfect. So, can I not even pick up the other key? But look, you'd be able to slide that out. Also, this is apparently rather difficult to control. They're not stuck. They are not stuck. You are full of the bullshits. Okay, good. You've finally put the weights with the others, so now we can use a souvenir token. Holy shit. I knew that was involved in this puzzle somehow. I was just getting a bit ahead of myself. Which I suppose is karma for being so far ahead of myself in the previous episode with the thingy. The medicine. For remembering which water is the right water. So there we go. I was right after all. And bearing in mind, I imagine that the token isn't made of, like, cheap plastic. It'll be relatively cheap metal, like... There we go, that's perfect. How would he have built this thing to weigh as much as 2 large weights and a souvenir token that wouldn't have existed back when this machine was made? Just a thought. Okay, the controls for this section are a little bit weird. But there we go. We've got 2 of the keys now. I remember that puzzle being so much harder when I first did it, but... No, that wasn't difficult at all. It was just a bit frustrating because I knew the answer, it just wouldn't let me do it in the order that I thought. So yeah, I think the coin is a red herring. I think it's too heavy because, as a coin, it'd be made of... Well, it will be made of proper copper, whereas, as I was just saying, the souvenir token will be made of comparatively cheap metal, like not flimsy, like, it might, like, you'd be able to leave tooth marks if you were to bite into it, but you wouldn't be able to bend it without significant effort, so, well, should we give back the shed key as well? And I thought maybe we'd have to show her the keys in order to prove that we got them, but, anyway, yes, let's give her back the shed key. And perhaps now you can grace us with the 3rd and final clock tower key, because... You didn't actually tell us where the 3rd key was, so I'm assuming that the 2 hooked up to that machine were your husband's and your daughter's. So... Oh, no, apparently not. So, Charlotte's key and her husband's key were both hooked up to that machine, which I suppose is a nice little metaphor for marriage. And, yeah, I suppose if Olivia eloped, as we found out... In the last episode we found out that 5 years ago, Charlotte's daughter Olivia eloped with her man, and presumably, if she didn't think much of her heritage and resents her parents somewhat for causing her to elope in the first place, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me too much if she were to not honour the notion of taking this family heirloom key thing with her. If she had kept it, surely that would be the perfect act of spite, because now no one can get into the clock tower, mwahaha. But maybe she has some bad memories associated with the family, and so she just wanted to leave it all behind. Including the key. Because it's none of... I don't know. So she was a paintress, apparently. Is that a word? Female painter? Paintress? I feel like grammatically it should be, but then people who overreact to that sort of thing would be like, oh, no, why do we need a separate word for it? You know, why does there have to be actor and why does there have to be a female word for actress? Why does there have to be a separate word for aviatrix? Why does it matter? And to that I say, you're reading far too much into it, because what you're saying borders on, why do we need a separate word to distinguish men from women? Because they're all people, but they have different physical characteristics, so may as well consider, you know, saying someone's an actress as opposed to an actor isn't discrediting them in any way, it's just clarifying they are a female actor or a male actress. It's not really a big deal. So that's something that was brought up in A-level English that kind of bothers me. I feel like one of these is going to be one of those superimposition puzzles again, but I don't remember what it involves. And also, I'm not sure how I feel about photographers giving their pictures really poncy-ass names. Like, what? Oh, you don't fucking say! She did say, you know, Olivia, her daughter, went out with Gilbert Moss. But yeah, like the name, my precious Olivia, or whatever it was that she said, like that's an acceptable name, I think, for a photo, but just to walk up to a lakefront, take a photo, and be like, oh, dappled sunlight number 57, like, no, just fucking give it a date, give a rough explanation of what the photo's of, don't try to give it an artsy-fartsy name, it's literally just a photo of a lake. And I'm not trying to discredit the photographic arts, it's just, don't do such things. It's pretentious, and it's more of a discredit to you than what I'm saying about photography. Because I studied photography for 1 year in college. It was a fun time. In fact, I think I do actually still have at least the preview of my final piece, which I was never able to actually put together because I don't remember, there was some sort of complications. But anyway, we have a letter to deliver, and it's probably something that completely changes, Charlotte's perspective on the family issues. Maybe we can finally... This is the song of healing to her. I don't know. We'll give her this letter, and then her face will fall off, and we'll have a mask that'll turn us into a crotchety old woman who has preconceived opinions about everything. No, but we did get this. So come on, give us your face, and so we can all move on with our lives. By the way, as of the end of the episode before last, this Wii remote is now down to 1 bar of charge out of 4. But it survived last episode without dying, and it survived nearly half of this episode without dying so far, so... See, why? Surely Olivia should have known that Charlotte would be so set in her ways to, oh, well, you eloped, I'm not going to look through any of your stuff then, so don't hide an important letter explaining your eloping in something that your mother isn't going to look at. Just give it to her in person, holy shit. Oh yeah, we get to read it anyway, and also we get a free key out of it, so... A freaky free key, and so now we can get into the clock tower. To dearest Mom, because Americans can't spell. I'm leaving this letter behind with the hope that one day you'll read it. Mom, I'm so sorry for making you worried so much about me. I know that you were just really worried for me because I fell in love again after the divorce, and I'm really grateful and lucky to have you there for me like that. But with Gilbert, this time I know it's not just a fling or a fantasy. My feelings are real, and I'm determined to spend the rest of my life with him. I left this letter in his album, with the hope that you'll look at his photos and understand how I feel. Mom, no matter how far away I go, I will never ever forget the sound of the clock tower ringing, the sound you loved so much. I pray that one day you'll find it in your heart to forgive us and accept Gilbert and me. Because don't put the personal pronoun before the proper noun! All my love. Your daughter, Olivia. See, I would say Gilbert and I, but no, it's because it's the object. It needs to be the object pronoun, so me is correct, but it's Gilbert and me, not me and Gilbert. Because in English and in Spanish, if you're listing more than one person, you never put pronouns before proper nouns. Well, certainly in the case of the first person, so... someone else and I, or someone else and me, never me and someone else, or I and someone else. Unless it's separated by commas for emphatic effect in that last case. The point is, you never say I and someone, or me and someone. You definitely never say me and someone, unless the and someone is part of a completely separate clause, in which case you're not saying me and someone, you're ending a clause with me, and starting a new clause with and someone, and it's a completely unrelated thought, and nobody cares about this shit! It is nearly 12 AM, and I should be ranting about this shit, especially in shared accommodation, even though I have no flatmates. See, that's what I was saying before. There was no way she was going to look through it. Like, her heart was in the right place? But... okay, now you're deliberately misreading it because you think everything's about you. But she was trying to do something to benefit her, and you're refusing to honour that. So you're being a dick, but she was also being a little bit airheaded to think that leaving the letter there is something that would actually reach her. So, anyway, we have the key, so I don't really care about your drama because, oh, we shouldn't be getting involved in matters beyond our control, so I'll just waltz out without you because you are not my problem, missus. See, you're just far too... See, you probably had a whole load of preconceived ideas about, oh, you're some dirty hippie photographer, therefore you're going to teach her how to do the marijuanis, and I don't want you seeing her, before he even said a word to her face. She seems like that sort of presumptuous person. See, obviously, this is all very much like we're hearing her side, and I'm assuming the other side entirely, but from what we've seen of what Charlotte is capable of, it wouldn't surprise me if that's what the situation is between them. Okay, go on, reminisce, say some more assuming shit. Yeah, maybe you were. Maybe you are wrong about a lot of things. And no, you don't. You just think you do, and you're well attuned to her feelings because you grew up raising her, or she grew up under your supervision. But just because you raise someone doesn't mean you know how they think and feel. There we go. You've finally come to terms with it. I think it's at this point that she starts being a nice character. Because I did say she had some resolution to her character arc. And it's at this point that her body disappears and her face falls off, and we get the Graham mask! Now we can get into the clock tower. I'm making all these Majora's Mask references, and it's a game that I'm not even likely to LP. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really want to, but it's overplayed as fuck. I don't feel like doing any challenge runs of it, and there isn't such a thing as Majora's Mask Master Quest, and if there was, then I'd jump on it and do it immediately. Well, not immediately, because I'm doing Ocarina of Time Master Quest at the moment, but if there ever is a Majora's Mask Master Quest, I will LP it. But for the moment, it's just... as it is, it's too overdone as an LP. So I would like to do the game, but in its current state, I cannot. Oh yeah, that's the point. It mentioned in the letter that Charlotte really does love the sound of the clock tower, and yet she has so many bad memories associated with it because of her daughter and the person who jumped off it, so... yeah, let's go and start the clock and finish this old bag's healing process. Well, it's gonna ring more than once, because it's not 1 AM, it's not 1 PM, and you know what, I get that's not what you meant. But then again, I'm still not over what you said in the last episode about misinterpreting Ashley's everything looks handmade. Well, you said ring once more, it's gonna ring more than once, because I'm gonna deliberately misinterpret what you're saying. And I think that's the end of this chapter. Huh. I would have thought we'd at least get into the clock tower first, but this looks very end of chaptery. Yep. When she does that look, you can tell it's definitely the end of a chapter. So, rubbing my eyes. I'm getting a bit tired because, as I said, it's 4 minutes to 12 on the night of. Well, I think it's the night of St. Patrick's Day, but I don't care because I don't celebrate it because I'm not Irish. And even then, I do kind of get passively annoyed when non-Irish people read as Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day because, no, fuck off, it's not your day. Like, that would be like me celebrating St. David's Day, which I think was the 1st of March. And music box. Like, that would be like me celebrating Wales's, like, patron saint day, because I'm English, and the original United Kingdom was England and Wales, and then Scotland was its own kingdom, and then Scotland became part of the Union, and Northern Ireland happened. Anyway, the point is, just because you have some vague cultural connection to a country doesn't mean you have the right to celebrate their national holidays. It's, like, it's kind of really... like, that's genuine cultural appropriation, but on a huge scale so no one questions it. So that it's all well and good people arguing about, oh, you're appropriating the Japanese culture by appreciating their work, and... I'm just getting on so much of a rant. So... wait, where is this? Oh, right, amongst the photos, I'm paying no attention whatsoever because I'm just ranting about Americans and their American tendencies. Hello if you're watching, anyone who happens to be American. I don't resent you too much. I love you. Anyway, Another flashback question? Oh no, we have the... Oh yeah, the cold wasn't the only thing that happened in this chapter, was it? But yeah, I did say it's around this chapter that the game starts getting good, and therefore, entering the next chapter, the game's going to get even better, and... Well... It wasn't... It was in an envelope in this, but yeah. I suppose that is kind of a tricky question, but made slightly less tricky in that the sword and moon keys were found together in one place. So we found 2 keys and 1 key, so we technically found 2 items rather than 3. But I do kind of like that imagery, I suppose, because the father, like, the father and mother had the sword and moon keys, but we don't know necessarily which one had which, like which one belonged to whom. All we know is the flower key belonged to Olivia. But I like the idea of the father having the sword key because that's kind of, like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but, like, traditionally... Rex Alfred, I remember that moustache. But yeah, like, traditionally, the men were seen as the protectors, the breadwinners, the toilet, and all that. So, I like the idea of that him having the sword, and then the mother having the moon because, well... In pagan culture, which is kind of the culture I was sort of born on the edge of, sort of, like, I have pagan heritage in there, like, that's much less tangential than Americans celebrating St. Patrick's Day, but anyway, certainly within that culture, and I believe also in some Native American cultures, the moon is perceived as female, or to do with, because I know there's at least a Native American people that refer to the moon as Grandmother Moon, or something, like, it's like Grandfather Sun and Grandmother Moon, or something like that. And there's, in pagan naming ceremonies, and I know because I had one as a child. Oh, hang on. Title card. Important stuff. You know shit's gonna go down. So, please tell me you're noticing what they're doing with those title cards, because I really love the way that happens over the course of the story. But yeah. Pagan naming ceremonies. Boys are offered to the sun, and girls are offered to the moon. So the moon has this female, motherly kind of role in a lot of traditional cultures. So that makes sense too. And then the daughter having a flower. Like, you could say, oh, you know, mental imagery of, I don't know, deflowering a virgin. That's the first traditional piece of text that comes to mind. But just, if you avoid that whole hornet's nest of imagery, then the whole thing of, you know, it takes care to raise a flower, so child, it makes sense in my mind, anyway. Because the keys were inherited. How long have I been ranting about these keys? Anyway, we have our next objective, and I was going to say, did we even do anything in this episode, but yes, we got those keys, didn't we? So, we healed Charlotte's soul, and got the keys, and yes, we need to remember that the sword key is the one that opens the clock tower, because the other 2 are only instrumental in starting the clock alongside the sword key, but it's the sword key that opens the clock tower, and that makes no sense because the sword key must have been the father's key, and it was the father that built the clock tower in the first place, and breathe! Yeah, we still have, like, 5+ minutes of episode left, so we could at least head there, maybe open the door, have a reminisce moment on the way there, I suppose. Oh yeah, we need to go and see if Matt's okay as well, because this was kind of our way of passing the time while the medicine takes its effect on him. We'll get back and find that he's run off again. Well, I'm not saying that's a thing that's definitely happening. I could cut out the journey back, but no, I'm going to keep you with me. And why are you growing cacti back there? At least that's what it looks like. They're probably like giant lettuces or something. I don't know. Look at the way everything flops into the lamppost, especially because they just kind of go doing, and it's funny. I should cut out this trip back, and I'm not going to because I am an asshole. I am an asshole. I am such. I'm getting progressively quieter. But yeah, if I'm thinking correctly, then this is gonna go up on the 21st, which is the first, like, that's the day, like, by the time this video goes up, I probably will be at the airport, even though my flight isn't until, like, 5 in the evening, because, I'm recording this on, okay, it's just ticked over to the 18th now, it's like 5 past 12 in the morning. And my flight isn't until 5-ish in the afternoon on the 21st, or the early evening, whatever. But I'm probably going to go to the airport stupidly early, because that's just how I do. I always go to the airport stupidly early when I'm the one having to manage my travel anywhere. because I'm just that shit scared of missing a flight. So, no big deal, I'll just be sitting in a departure lounge, just reading for hours and hours and hours. But I do have some plans to while away at least some day, but it's a logical approach. Anyway, the medicine worked, which is good to hear, considering it was basically just a cup of tea. But then again, it had herbs in it, so it was medicinal herbs, medicinal red marijuanis, cannabis ding dong. Well, not really, because I knew what the right answer was, because we knew which water was the right water, which... You can work it out logically the way I said last episode, but the game doesn't expect you to, so it saved a bit of time by me being logical. What's the problem, Ashley? Aw, how cute. Does he remind you of that ghost from the other game that I've not played? That's the point. I think they might have it in one of the game shops near here. Maybe I should get it after all. Yeah, but to be fair, he wouldn't have known that her surname is Graham. Like, we had this exact same problem a couple of episodes ago, so slow your roll, Ashes. And at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if she just doesn't let anyone call her by her first name at all, because she's that secluded and reclusive. Those are the words I'm looking for. But yeah, we've healed her soul. She's now much warmer, and she's now the character that I grew to love with that background music. So, she is alright in the end. She just takes a bit of breaking through, reaching into no, don't enter the grandmother. Well, I mean, technically you do have two, you've just not met either of them. Well, holy fucking shit! Just dropping that bombshell on us, 18 parts into the LP? That was a bit sudden. Yum yum Chicago. See, when I think of Chicago, the first thing I think of is pizza, but not because of Chicago itself, but just because there's a brand of pizza called Chicago Town. So... Anyway, were we ever asked to ask about the clock tower? Because it seems like something that Ashley just did on a whim. Maybe I forgot, that's just what it felt like. Anyway, we have the keys to get in, and it's looking like that'll be a next episode thing. Well, shall I record that tonight as well? Probably not, because it is getting very late, so I'll have to record those tomorrow. Fun times, I'm so prepared! So yeah, we need to go and restart the clock-ass tower. Then again, if we're going in there anyway, wouldn't we wouldn't we end up starting the clock anyway, but if we were going in there just to investigate, then we'd think maybe, oh, it's none of our business, perhaps we shouldn't. So, maybe never mind. But, I mean, it's a video game with a stopped clock tower that we have to investigate. It's more than likely we are going to end up starting the clock one way or the other anyway. You shouldn't be, but this is a video game, so yeah, you'll be fine. You're gonna come out with us, aren't you? Yeah, I was gonna say, you kind of got those expressions a little bit wrong. Arse backwards and all that, and I don't want to say it because that'll instantly make it untrue, but the Wii Remote is still alive after 2 full episodes now of being on 1 bar of charge. That's very impressive. Now, given the amount of time we have left, we would have even more time if I'd cut out the trip back from Charlotte's place, but nope. Because I'm an asshole like that. We'll get to the clock tower, get through whatever cutscenes we're bound to have once we get to the door, because you know what this game's like with dropping cutscenes on us for no good reason. And then I'll end the episode, and fun times, and yesity, yossity, yimpity, yumpity, gimpity, gumpity, gooble. Why am I saying these words? They are not funny. Anyway, we're here. Oh, you actually are going to let me... Okay, well, I'll just step back for a second. I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode we'll do clock tower things. See you then, have a nice life, etc, etc. We made more progress than I was anticipating. See you then when we do even more progressy things. Goodbye.